What'd you do?
Alright, welcome in everybody to another episode of the NFP. Sorry we had a little camera malfunctions there. Gotta get everybody into the screen, as you know. But this is another episode of the Undefeated Sports Talk Show. Today, guys, we're going to be talking about the NBA, the Eastern Conference. Are there teams that can compete with the Cavaliers and the Celtics? Because I don't really have an answer. I want to see if these guys do. We're going to be touching on Lonzo Ball. Should we give up on him, or should we give him time? He has had a good last couple of games, and we're going to be speaking about that. And then finally, guys, we got to talk about the Thunder again. Constantly struggling. They even struggled against the Pacers. Yes, they got the win, but the Pacers could have came back and won that. I'm Tyler Hurst, your host. Alongside me is Mario Clark and Leon Hurst. All right, no highs for these guys. These guys are serious.
How's it going, everybody?
It's good. Ready to go, but make sure, before we get this started, make sure you subscribe to our channel. Give us a shout-out. Follow our Facebook page at Undefeated Sports Talk Show. It always helps. We've got multiple views from this last one. We need to keep that going. The more, the better. And also the more scenery. Then you won't have to see his Texas flag behind us if you give us shout-outs. The more, the better. We get some screens. We get a background. We get a theme. That's what we want. But, guys, let's get this started. Let's get this going. The Eastern Conference right now in basketball, in the NBA, is predominantly the Cavs and the Celtics. The Pistons have started to fall off. The Magic, after starting 5-0, are not even in the talk. The Heat, they have been atrocious. The Sixers, they're okay. They're just young. They've lost 5 of their last 6. The Raptors are the Raptors. You know, they choke in the playoffs. The Bucks, they're there, but can they compete? That's a question for you guys to answer. And then it's just kind of everybody else after that. The Wizards, they've been without John Wall. So right now, who are the teams that compete in the Eastern Conference?
Honestly, I think actually a healthy Wizards team is actually a big threat in the East. As last year, even though they lost to the Bulls in the first round, they still proved they can get the job done. But I think a healthy Wizards team is a good matchup. And then honestly, you really can't give up on the 76ers. I know they're a young team, but they still have a lot of talent on that young team. They still have playmakers, Ben Simmons, Joel Embiid, J.J. Redick here and there. They're a pretty good overall team. So I feel like the top 2 teams for me right now that can compete with the with the Celtics and the Cavs are Wizards and 76ers to me.
Before you go, I got a question. But do you think, okay, so with that, you think they can compete with Cavs Celtics, but do you think they can compete where they can get to a championship and compete with anybody in the West?
No, I don't. The West is different.
Okay. Go ahead.
All right. I honestly do think that I think the 76ers, in my opinion, Mario, I'll go with you on that. I'm not going to take the Wizards because mainly they just pretty much got John Wall to get the job done mostly. 76ers, though, that Embiid is coming along very well along with Simmons. They're just unstoppable. Yeah, they're young, but I think they're a good challenge toward the end. Right now, it's just like anything else, just like football, anything else. It's just a seasonal play, but when they get down to the playoffs and that's where it's really going to count. So I'd have to say 76ers. Do I think that they can compete with the West, with the top 3 in the West? No.
I
not
agree.
at all.
And I want to talk. I'm going to start with the Wizards myself. To me, I just don't think they have enough talent when it comes to depth with the Wizards, because you have to rely on so much on Beal and Wall, and they are what they are. The Wizards, they've just not kept their cap space reasonable, and that's why they can't sign anybody. They could have signed Paul George, but the cap space was too loaded. And then I think about the Raptors. They're 3rd right now, guys. I like them, but then I don't like them because they can't win in the playoffs. If you're talking out of the 3 teams, Raptors, Celtics, Cavs, I think Kyrie, Horford. Do I want them? Do I want LeBron and Kevin Love? Or do I want DeRozan and Kyle Lowry? I'm going to take the Raptors guys last. Yeah. I'm gonna take Kyrie and Horford because Kyrie's a championship. He's a winner. LeBron and Love, obviously you have LeBron. And then DeRozan and Lowry, they haven't proved anything to me. And right now, the Raptors, they are ranked 23rd in the NBA. That tells you the league right now is a 3-point league. You have to make threes. But my 2 teams, guys, are the Milwaukee Bucks. You just have to watch out for them because you got a guy that can play with LeBron. You got a guy who can defend. You got a guy who can score. And Giannis Antetokounmpo. Then you picked up Eric Bledsoe. He can help spread the floor. He can create. He creates depth. He can shoot threes. And then the only thing I don't see with the Bucks is that they're not a solid road team. They're 6-7 on the road right now. But that doesn't matter. As long as you can get to the playoffs and win one of your road games, you can win a 7-game series.
Let me. I'll break that up just a little bit, Tyler. I would say that I would throw in the Bucks. I would go with Mario too with the Wizards. These are just the contentions for East.
Mm-hmm.
Do I think that anybody can beat the Celtics and the Cavaliers in the end? No, not out of any of them. But at least they're in contentions for playoffs. Wizards, Bucks, Raptors.
Yeah.
And 76ers. I think all 4 of them are in contention for playoffs, but I don't think that they can make it any further.
No.
Once they play one of those 2 teams, they're done.
Yeah, I'm with you guys. Nobody competing against the Western teams.
Yeah, I agree. But real quick, the only thing I don't like about the Bucks is all it is Antetokounmpo. If you stop him, who else do you got? You got an Eric Bledsoe who's not very good, honestly, in my opinion. You got a Chris Middleton. He's pretty obviously former defensive player of the year, but that said, you can only go so far with defense. You need more than just one really good superstar for your team to go against the Celtics or the Cavs. So that's why I would keep out the Bucks, because they only have one good superstar.
I agree, and that's the thing. I took a lot of time thinking about the Pacers on this one because I really liked what I've seen. I liked what they could do at home because you got a big man in Turner. You got Oladipo, who's been straight balling. He's averaging 24 points a game now, and he's been really clutch. But virtually, they are a B average team. They're not the team that's going to beat a Cavs or a Celtics. The 76ers, I just believe they need another year since they've dropped those 4 of the last 6. Earlier I said 5, I meant 4. And I said from the beginning of the season they're going to be the best they're going to get is 6th seed. Pistons, they're going to continue to fall. Knicks, they don't have enough around Porzingis. And the Heat, guys, I just think they're going to come around. Right now they're without Whiteside, and when he comes back, he's only going to help them defensively. I believe the Heat are just going to make noise at 7th or 8th seed. They're going to have to play Celtics or Cavs first round. And honestly, no one's going to contend with the Cavs Celtics in the Eastern Conference. No one competes with them. And the 2 teams I have is the Milwaukee Bucks and the Miami Heat. Those are the 2 teams that I think can create noise because the reason why Miami Heat is coaching staff and it's hard to win in South Beach.
Sounds
good. That's it.
All
All right, and we will move on to Lonzo Ball. Is he a bust or should we give him time?
I'm going to give him time. I think exactly what LeBron's been saying too, or what other analysts have been saying, is that he's just like LeBron. He's not like Jordan was, where Jordan could run the court himself. Scotty would pull up defense for him, and Scotty did do some shooting that back then. But with Jordan, he would run the court. He would take all the shots himself and would hardly miss. But LeBron's the type that likes to share, pass the ball, just like what Alonzo's doing. You give him some time, they work on his shot. Once they get that shot form down, I think he's going to be a very good player. I'm going to have to go with him for a couple more years, but once he gets it down, he's going to be a good player, I think. You know, vice versa, keeping his dad away. Other than that, I think he'll be a good player.
I do agree with you too. I think we just got to give Lonzo some time, only because over these past 2 games, he's actually been playing pretty good, moving the ball around. I just think I like everybody's repetitive. I feel like for Lonzo Ball, he just needs to be more aggressive on offense, and he needs to sometimes have a shoot first, pass later mentality, and he just seems to only like passing the ball a lot. Like last night, he had plenty of opportunities to shoot an open shot, but he just looked for his own teammates. In that situation, you just want to be the aggressor, but he's not very aggressive. I think once he figures that out, he'll find his place because, he's good at...
get some size.
Yeah, he's good at getting assists. I mean, I think he's pretty good size right now. I think he's like 6'4" or something.
Well, and I think also just his age too, Mario. Having only 1 year of college, I think once he gets that 2 more years underneath his belt, he's gonna be a grown man.
Yeah, I think he's only 19 or 20 years old. So I mean, that's also what people got to keep in mind. He's a young dude, but I think you just give him time and he'll progress.
But before you get going, Tyler, my only thing is the other rookie that's on the Lakers team is better than him. He is better.
Kyle Kuzma,
Kyle Kuzma is better. I've got him myself on ESPN Fantasy, and he's he's outstanding. I can't get rid of him because he keeps on scoring.
Mm-hmm.
You know?
Yeah, Kyle Kuzma, that's the thing. We can't compare Lonzo to Kyle Kuzma because Kyle Kuzma was obviously lots better. But I agree with you guys. You got to give him time. He's dealt with enormous pressure like LeBron did as a rookie. He has to deal with the fans. But instead, he has to also deal with his dad, who's obnoxious. He has to deal with the team. Then he has to deal with being drafted second overall. But he has not been that bad.
Mm-hmm.
People want to say he has. He leads the team in assists. He leads the team in rebounds.
And he averages 9 points something a game.
Yeah, he averages 9 points per game. We
Mm-hmm.
can say he can't shoot in the game. We can't say he can't shoot, but he's still averaging 9 points. So right there, he's 9 points per game, 7 assists, and 7 rebounds. It's not horrible. And obviously, we say we can't compare him to Kyle Kuzma. And then if we compare Lonzo to all the other guards in the league, I don't think that's fair to Lonzo Ball because all the pressure he's had around him.
Mm-hmm.
All these other guards haven't had that. Sure, he does need to become aggressive. I agree. He needs to fix that shot, like you said. That's just because he's. The reason why we say that is because he has been the worst. He has had the worst ever field goal percentage by a rookie in the league. But I've seen signs that Lonzo Ball can be great. For example, the 76ers game winner. Why did they hit that game winner? Because of Lonzo Ball. He created that play, got Brandon Ingram wide open. And then another big game against the Warriors, he had 16 points. Last night against the Cavaliers, 13 points. Played great. He can't shoot the 3-ball. But if you compare it to Jason Kidd, 9.7 points a game, 6.6 assists per game, 6.4 rebounds. That is virtually the same as Lonzo Ball. He's the youngest. Lonzo Ball is the youngest player ever to record a triple-double. He's only 20 years old. Tony Parker, Hall of Famer. Guys, get this. First season in the NBA, 9.2 points, 4.3 assists, 2.6 rebounds. Virtually worse than Lonzo Ball if you think over overall standpoint. We're only 27 games in. Give this kid time. I guarantee you he's only going to get better. And he's a passer. So he might be a future Hall of Famer.
See, I think one of the main reasons why I feel like everybody would probably agree is it's only because of his dad. Really, there's so much attention and like a target on his back. It's because of his dad can't shut his mouth. It's like Lonzo seems like he's a good dude. Like he's obviously does not. I haven't seen him talk smack on anybody or anything. It's just his dad talks too much and it puts too much pressure on his head. It puts a target on his head. Like his dad's hyping him up, and it's not working out for him because Lonzo's not that type of player. Even at UCLA, he wasn't even a really that much of an aggressive guy. I think he averaged at most 16 points in his senior season. His senior season at UCLA, or I mean not senior season, but freshman after at UCLA. But still, it's just his dad's just not being a very good fan or anything.
No, now you got Leandro.
You know, and then where they've been talking right now, if that man does go there next year, along with possibly Paul George, they're only going to make him better.
Yeah,
That'd be his main trainer right there. Besides Kobe sticking his nose into things, Kobe has.
I just along with that, I can't see LeBron going there because LeBron he's more of a trainer. It's not the word, but more of a teacher of the game. He's trying to teach these younger players how to play. He doesn't want to play with them because then he just has to rebuild an entire team. He wants to go to a team that's already set, and those two teams are the San Antonio Spurs or the Houston Rockets. Otherwise, I think he's staying in Cleveland.
Yeah, it's kind of weird that they don't say nothing ever about San Antonio, but I just remember they saved money this last year because of Gasol's contract, and they didn't bring nobody in. Yeah. And they got rid of people, so I'm kind of wondering if they're building up for something big.
Mm-hmm.
So, and that could be the likes of LeBron. And you notice how big-time star players never mention exactly what team they're going to. At the last minute, you hear they're going to this team. You're going, now wait a minute.
And there's actually a guy who could be traded to the Cavs right now, and you just said Paul George. That's because this Thunder experiment right now is failing. They are 8th seed in the playoffs, like game or a half game ahead of the Utah Jazz. And they should be up where the Minnesota Timberwolves are, around 4th seed. Is this a failure?
They're sitting down an 8th
seed.
Do
you call it
it's
a
not
failure?
Good.
I don't call it a failure. Only reason why, because like you said earlier, they're 27 games into the season, and like they still got to build that team chemistry. Like if you watch highlights over these guys, they're like you said, offset. They're ISO players. Paul George is an ISO player. Melo's an ISO player. Russ is obviously an ISO player, as we saw last season. And they're not used to being able to have that option to pass the ball. So when they get the opportunity, they think they have to share the ball too much, and it takes away from what they were good at. And so I feel like once they figure that out, they'll be good. I honestly think they'll end up probably 6th seed in the West.
Mario, you hit it exactly on the head. The coach has even spoke about it already.
Yeah.
He has said that that's the problem with them guys right now. Once they get that figured out, once they start transitioning, which they did. What was it? They played a game last night or whatever. And
The other night against the Pacers.
yeah, and they end up winning.
Yeah.
Well, they said what they're doing is they're trying to come around and get in this transitioning phase, because what'll happen is one of them they'll sit there and pass for a while to one another because they want to get out of that phase. Well, then by the time they get to go to shoot, they ain't got that connection.
Yeah.
So they're also not hitting. But once they find that connection, get going, I think it's going to be a good team. If they would all stay together come next year, which I don't know if that's going to happen, if all three of them would stay together, I think it'd be a good team.
Yeah, I don't want to stir the pot anything, but guys, I think it's failure right now. Right now, I mean, sure, it can end up being great, but right now it's a complete failure. I really like this Thunder team. I like what they brought together. I like what Presti has done and what he brought together, but someone has to go as of right now. You used to have too many ISO players. You have a Paul George who was at Indiana always as ISO. Carmelo was at ISO at the Knicks, and then what Russell Westbrook did last year as an ISO. But right now, Paul George, he's been under the radar. He's been below average lately. And against the Pacers, he only had 12 points. He was 3 for 12. And if you look at it, against the Pacers, yes, they won. The big three shot 10 for 45. Melo's in his worst shooting slump ever. He's only averaging 17 points right now. Is he aged? That's another question for another day. Westbrook, he's not in his MVP status form right now. Sure, he's close to a triple-double, but he's 71% from the free throw line, 39% from field goal percentage. Right now, when I was watching Pacers, there's no movement offensively. Everybody's standing around. It's ISO ball. That's not what big threes are supposed to do. As you saw, LeBron, D-Wade, Chris Bosh. Constant movement, constant passing. What do we see with the Warriors? Kevin Durant, Klay Thompson, Steph Curry. It's constant movement, constant passing. These guys are not doing that. They barely beat a Pacers team on the road, and the Pacers are a C-plus average team to a B average team. I don't think Billy Donovan can coach these three, and he's just not set for this. He's a college basketball coach. So right now, when you think about it, it's either Billy Donovan or Paul George has to go because you can't ship Melo. And if you ship Paul George to get one of these ISO basketball players, I just think the only team you can ship him to is the Cleveland Cavaliers with Tristan Thompson and Iman Shumpert. Because right now, Paul George does not seem happy in OKC because you're not winning.
See, I think I agree with you, but they're winning, but I think it's just sloppy basketball. That's what it is. Their team chemistry is still not there yet for some reason. And
that's the question. Will it ever get there? Because there's the three ISO basketball players. It's not like a KD, Steph Curry, Klay Thompson, who are all passers who come together.
See, and you know, if you really think about it too, even by watch, and then which we got it on in behind us, in behind the screen today, people. But if you think about it, if you watch Russell, he's not a dictator like LeBron. He's the type that's used to going up and taking it himself. And I just now watching you sit there trying to dictate. Well, I'm sure he wants to get busy and score, and, but he's being nice and passing around with them other two. And
we all like Westbrook here, but the thing is Westbrook is an Allen Iverson. He is too hard to play with. He's a guy that just needs to be by himself and to have the ball all the time by himself.
Mm-hmm.
That's in my eyes.
See, I think I just think it's too early in the season to really tell. You never know. Everything can be in a huge experiment, but I really think it's going to work out in the end.
Really think? I mean, right now, Steven Adams is their second best player, averaging a double-double.
Hey, man, everybody has their season. But
that's going to be the question. That is the whole question. Are all three of them going to stay together at the end of the season? I don't think anybody knows. No. You hear a lot of talk.
I don't think they're going to stay together, but I think this season they're going to figure it out.
Yeah, Melo and Westbrook are staying together automatically, but Paul George, I think, is leaving no matter what. And if he gets traded, real quick, last question about this. If he gets traded, where should they trade him to?
Well, like you said, the only team that has the options for him, anything that would be a fair trade in return, is the Cleveland Cavaliers. But really, if you do that, you're just basically just handing the championship, the conference final, over to the Celtics, and handing it over to the Cavaliers. But I really think that's really the only option to get Iman Shumpert and Tristan Thompson for Paul George. But obviously, I don't feel like that would really happen. But that's it for me. That I think it'd be the Cavaliers' best bet for them to even try anything. Or even look at new coaching staff, because like you said, Billy Donovan's
number one key is you got to get rid of Billy Donovan.
And I honestly don't. Seriously, I don't think that LeBron is going to stay with the Cavs, even if they win, because he wants to go elsewhere. Mario, I don't think he's going to win this season. I really don't. Steph is coming back. He injured his ankle. He's going to come back. The Warriors are going to be strong again, but I just don't think that he's going to stay. I think that he's going to move on, because what they've been discussing is he's done his dictatorship with leading people on the court now. Now he wants to get his 2 wins in there to get up there with Jordan. I think he wants to go to a team that can win. And you're right. That could be someone like San Antonio or Houston.
Yeah,
that's my opinion, to beat the Warriors.
I think if they trade Paul George, it has to be the Cavs, because you get the most. Lakers right now obviously don't have anything attractive enough for the Thunder. But honestly, at the end of the day, I don't think they are going to trade Paul George. I just think they're going to try to fix the wrinkles and get themselves in the playoffs, because when they get in the playoffs, I think they're going to be really dangerous. The Thunder, you're not going to want to play them in the playoffs. Warriors already know they can be beat by the Thunder.
I think they're going to be dirty a little bit.
Yeah, they're going to be dangerous in the playoffs. I can guarantee that, because they're all going to want to win. But right now, the Thunder, they need to fix it, and they need to get their chemistry going, and they need to get it going quickly, so they do not get stuck 8th seed and playing the Warriors or the Rockets first round.
Mm-hmm.
So I think you guys can agree with me on that.
Yep.
But at the end of the day, that is our NBA talk, guys. Thank you for listening to the Undefeated Sports Talk Show. Make sure you subscribe to our channel. Give us a shout out. Follow our Facebook page at Undefeated Sports Talk Show. Remember, I'm Tyler. This is Mario. This is Leon. We all keep bringing it to you every single week, Friday, Monday. Stay tuned. We will be live on Facebook. Our next episode coming in about 5 minutes. So if you are watching, just tune into our Facebook page. We'll talk to you soon, though, guys. Talk to you later.
Bye.